This segment of the news is brought to you by Smitty's Cards and Coins. Would you like to know what your collectibles are worth? Come by 2281 Postal Road, Unit 4, across from the post office.
And troopers are investigating a 3-vehicle collision that occurred today on the highway. One person was transported from a 3-vehicle collision this afternoon on Highway 160 and Mesquite. Nevada Highway Patrol, Nye County Sheriff's deputies, and Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue all arrived on scene. One occupant was transported by ground ambulance to Desert View Hospital. No one in the other vehicles claimed any injury at the time of the collision. How the accident occurred is under the investigation of the Nevada Highway Patrol. Traffic was diverted around the accident scene while the investigation was being conducted. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. And one man was handcuffed at the scene of a collision when the truck he was driving and a Harley-Davidson motorcycle collided on Leslie Street Saturday night. 2 people were transported from a 2-vehicle accident Saturday night on Irene and Leslie Street. One person was transported by ground ambulance to the Mercy Air heliport and airlifted to UMC Trauma Center in Las Vegas with injuries sustained as a result of this accident. The other person was transported by ground ambulance to Desert View Hospital with minor injuries. How the accident occurred is under the investigation of the Nye County Sheriff's Office, but it appears that the driver of the pickup truck was driving under the influence at the time that the accident occurred in front of Coyote Corner on Leslie Street. The motorcycle had 2 riders. The female was transported by air ambulance. The male was transported by ground. No one inside the pickup truck claimed any injury at the time of the collision.
When I came out of the store, I saw Crease, the young lady, laying on the ground, and the boy was with her. He seemed to be fine. And I got a blanket put over Crease and kept her talking and everything. She said her leg was hurting really bad until the ambulance got here and tried to keep her from going into shock and keep her calm.
How was he?
He was very upset. He was on the phone with family members or somebody telling him to get up here real quick, or friends, and then he went with a police officer to give her the report of what happened.
Nye County Sheriff's Office did take the driver into custody after conducting a field sobriety test on the driver. Traffic was diverted around the collision while Nye County Sheriff's Office conducted the accident investigation. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. And luckily, no injuries were reported in a 2-car crash today that involved a child who was in the back seat of a vehicle strapped in her car seat. A minor 2-vehicle accident occurred this morning on Highway 160 and Homestead Road. A child in the backseat of the Prius was checked out by medics on scene. The child was in a car seat at the time of the collision. There was no significant damage to either of the vehicles, and all occupants declined to be transported. Nye County Sheriff's deputies are conducting the accident investigation. And 6 of the men involved in the armed standoff at the Bundy Ranch in Nevada 3 years ago are set to begin trial. There are 17 total defendants in the Bundy standoff case. This trial is for the men who are accused of conspiring with Bundy family members and wielding weapons to stop federal agents from rounding up cows on public land in Bunkerville 3 years ago. 6 of those 17 defendants, also known as the Tier 3 defendants, began trial today. First on the schedule is the jury selection, which began in federal court. Those seen as the leaders of the standoff, which include Cliven Bundy along with his sons Amon and Ryan, are due to stand trial with 2 other men as the second group after the first trial is over. Well, can brain-stimulating activities help older adults lower their risk of developing mild cognitive impairment? A new study in the Journal of the American Medical Association Neurology suggests certain activities may be associated with less risk.
Mild cognitive impairment, or MCI, is the intermediate stage between normal aging and dementia.
The frequency of MCI depends on age. If you take persons that are 70 years and older, for example, in our study, we have observed that the frequency or prevalence of MCI is about 15%.
Dr. Jonas Gaeta of the Mayo Clinic in Scottsdale, Arizona, and co-authors studied almost 2,000 cognitively normal adults 70 and older to see if engaging in mentally stimulating activities was associated with decreased risk for developing MCI. The older adults were from a Mayo Clinic study of aging in Minnesota. They completed questionnaires about their activities and underwent assessments, including for memory. Researchers found playing games, crafting, using a computer, and social activities were associated with decreased risk of MCI.
This study is very important because dementia, MCI, these conditions are really common as we get older. We need to find out non-pharmacological approaches to decrease the risk of MCI or dementia.
Laura Berger, the JAMA Report.
Thanks, Laura. The study looked at data from April of 2006 to June 2016.